Okay, so the last thing that we're going to cover in this part of the orientation is the individual clothes. So you're going to turn to this page and your flip chart. It is the next page after the table clothes. So you've got your free product program on this side, and then you've got your individual clothes script on this side. And this is literally just so you can have it sitting up like on a tent on the desk, and you can just read the questions right off of it. It makes it so much easier, especially for brand new consultants. I want you all to know, if I have not said this yet, I may have said it several times already, but I used a flip chart for 2.5 years. Like, this is something that you can totally use if you are not comfortable with memorizing. And I personally would just always get out of order and I would forget things. And so it's just so great to be able to use this. Okay, during an individual close, and all of this that I'm going over is on the back here where you can just read it. But first of all, it is very important that during the one-on-one individual close, you have an area that is separate from everyone else at the party. Ideally, you would be behind closed doors. So an office, or if you were at the studio, we've got rooms with closed doors, that you can close the door, go in there by yourself. And that is the best thing you can do for your business, is to be as far away, as separate as possible. If you're in someone's small house, or if it's too quiet, at least make sure you go into a different room. So don't just if they're at the kitchen table, don't stand at the kitchen counter. You need to leave the room. Make it your office, and I always make the joke, step into my office, even if I'm just sitting on someone's couch. Something typically that's good is if the hostess is serving food during the individual consultation, which is when the food should be served, not during the party. Then you can go to the living room and everybody else can hang out in the kitchen and snack. If it's too quiet, I'll play music on my phone or have the hostess turn on the TV so that I don't feel like I have to whisper. Okay, biggest thing that you need to know. The biggest no-no that you could ever do at your classes is to have lookbooks sitting out. This is something that I probably did for 1.5 years, if not more, during the first of my business, and just detrimental is what it was, because we think, oh, I want to have a stack of lookbooks out. People can look through them while I'm talking to everybody individually, and that way they can browse and blah, 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 blah. I will tell you that I recently had an experience where out of nowhere, this person came up with a lookbook, and my party sales were awful, because what happens is if you've got lookbooks sitting out, people will forget everything you just spent 1.5 hours or 2 hours teaching them, and they will look through the lookbook and they'll see a $7 or $8 eyeshadow, and that's what they'll buy instead of a $200 skincare set. And that's a big deal for your business. That's a big pay cut. Sorry. Recording videos in the spring when it's allergy season is such a good idea. So anyway, do not hand out lookbooks. The party that I had, the sales were about $150, which is maybe like a quarter of what they usually are for me and should have been with that party. And that person the lookbook just came out of nowhere. I have no idea where she got it. I think she may have brought it with her. And I don't know where she got it from, but anyway, it was definitely detrimental to my party. So do not hand out lookbooks. If someone requests one, tell them that you only have one with you, and that should be the truth. You should have one that you use during your individual consultation to reference prices. And you can say, and I need this one so that I can look up prices, but you and I can look at it together during your consultation, okay? And that should be fine for them. So what you want to do is you want to pick the people that you talk to first. You want to be very strategic about this. Your hostess is always going to go last, so remember that. And the person that you want to go first, if you had one of these at your party, is your Debbie Downer or your negative Nancy. The person who didn't like anything that you put on her face, that she was your heckler. She just had negative things to say the whole time. That's who you want to get out of there. You definitely don't want to leave her with the rest of your happy guests and let her bring their mood down. You want to take her first, check her out. She's probably not going to get anything. She might, I don't know. And let her leave. And then you can go with everyone else. So first person is your negative Nancy. Second person, or this person could be first. If someone is has to leave right now, talk to them first, because if you go behind closed doors with someone else, they will leave without talking to you. And so you don't want that. So the person that needs to leave first would be first, and then negative Nancy's or Debbie Downers. The next people you're going to talk to are what we call your sparklers, people that loved everything you said. that loved every product. They just hung on your every word. They participated in the games. They were the ideal guest. People that you think would be good at the opportunity possibly would be interested. So that's your next person, then everybody else, and then your hostess. Sorry. First thing you want to do is you want to sit down and make a connection with whoever you bring back. The best thing to do is to go set up your area and then go back to the party area and go, okay, so-and-so, why don't you follow me? And just walk away, and they will follow you. Sorry. Make sure that they know. Hi. Make sure that they know to bring. Make sure they know to bring their top set sheet, their profile card, and their pen with them. That's what I always have them bring. So once they are back there with you and they sit down and you want to just sort of make a connection with them, put your, I'm doing this to you, put your hand on their arm and sort of like, if they're that kind of person, some people don't like it when you touch them, you can usually tell. So just like greet them in a way, hey Sally, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you were here tonight. It was so great to meet you. Did you have fun? Let her answer. Just so you know, anytime you want a yes answer from someone, you nod your head when you ask the question. Did you have fun tonight? How does your skin feel? Feel good? So you want them to mimic you, and that's just a psychological thing. Ask her if she had fun. Ask her how her skin feels. Compliment her. Tell her your favorite thing about her new look. Maybe her eyelashes are super long. Maybe now here's one thing I have found. If you compliment the glamour, they end up buying the glamour. If you compliment their skin, they end up buying skincare more. So maybe say, instead of saying, oh, that blush looks great on you, maybe say, man, your skin is just glowing, or your skin looks so hydrated, or, something like that. That makes them more likely to buy skincare. Once you've done that, here is verbatim the words that you should say. You should say, okay, Sally, so the first thing I like to do is go ahead and book your second appointment. What's better for you, daytime, evening, or weekend? Okay. Sorry. And I say it like that because if you say something like, okay, Sally, can we go ahead and book your second appointment? Or if you say, are you interested in a second appointment? If you ask her permission, 99% of the time she's going to say no. And here's why. It's not that they don't want a second appointment with you. It's just, it's natural instinct to want to say no for some reason. But here's the thing. They do want to get back together with you. They want to learn more about makeup. But you have to make it to where they know that. It's hard to explain, but I promise if you say it in a way that's not a yes or no question, but more of a, hey, we're going to do this, let's pick when, then they'll be more likely to book that with you. With that, I have about a 90% success rate of booking second appointments. You will know based on the questions on the back of her profile card if she wants to do that by herself or with friends. If she wants to do it with friends, then what you want to do is give her a hostess packet. If you don't know what's in those, ask me. But you also, and this will be in her hostess packet, but you want to go over this with her and explain to her how she's going to earn free product and get her guest list. And her guest list might be people that are on the back of her profile card already listed. If they are, I have her put stars beside them so that I know who I'm supposed to call. If she's only got 2 or 3, I have her make sure to add several more. An ideal guest list is 6 to 8 people, if not like 10. So once you've got her appointment booked, based on what's best for your schedule and hers, and by the way, this would be the time where you would have your date book open, and you would say, what's best for you? If you can't do daytime, maybe you're just saying evenings or weekends, or what's best for you, Tuesdays or Thursdays. Based on your schedule, you're asking her what's best for her. You're not saying, okay, when can you do it? Because that makes it seem like you're open whenever, so you're not busy, so why would she want to book with you if you're not a busy professional consultant? You want to give her limited options, and if those 2 don't work for her, then you've got 2 more, and if those 2 don't work for her, you've got 2 more. It's just like the new consultant booking script. It's just in person. Once you've got her booked, you've got her guest list, and you've given her a hostess packet, the next thing you want to do is sell her product. So what you do is you take her top set sheet that's all circled, circled and starred and whatever, and you grab it and you just say, okay, so, and I look at it and I really like study it and ask her some questions regarding her skin and what she's using at home. And on the back of your profile cards up here, there's a place where you can write down things that she uses currently and things that she liked. So a couple questions that I sometimes ask just to get the ball rolling on this conversation is I'll say, first of all, I'll say, okay, so you love the way your skin feels, right? It just looks so good. Tell me what you're using at home. So I find out what skincare she's using at home. If she's using a bar of soap and body lotion, or not even that, or maybe she's using an entire set from Lancome. You know, there's a big difference in those two people and the way you'll need to address them. And so that just gives you more of an idea of what you need to say to those people. So once you sort of find out what she's using, then I find out what she liked. I say, okay, so everything on here that you've got started, I know that you loved it, but why don't you tell me the one thing that stuck out to you today that you just absolutely loved? And so I get that from her, and I write that down as well. And then what I do is I go back to her top set sheet. Let me show you. And let's say she has this and this and this starred. Okay, these 3 sets starred. Then what I do is I add those up. And well, this is what I say to her. I say, okay, Susie. I don't know. I think I'm with Sally. Susie, Sally, somebody. I say, so what I typically do for everyone is I add up everything that you have starred and show you what it would be to take it home on a payment plan. Can I do that for you? And she says, yeah, that's fine. I have never had anyone say no to that. And so let's say she had those 3. So it would be $315, right? Divided by 4 for 4 payments is $78.75. I do not add tax in. So what I do is I add 3 things up, those 3 things up, divide it by 4, and then I turn my phone around. I don't say it out loud, and I just show it to her. So if you're her, I'm showing it to you, and I say, okay, so it would be about $79 plus tax. Is that something you could do today? Or sometimes I don't even say that. I'll just wait for their reaction. You have to read the person. If they go, then you know it's out of their budget. If they're like, okay, then you're like, great, so you want to go ahead and take those home with you today? And they'll say yes. You can typically tell. Here's what I want you to make sure that you don't do. Don't talk a person out of a sale. If they say okay, then go with it. A lot of times, especially as new consultants, we're really surprised when people want to buy a whole lot of stuff, and so we act shocked. But what you have to do is you have to act like people buy $500 worth of product all the time. And if you start acting like that, then people will. I mean, honestly, I have people purchase $250, $300 worth of product at every single appointment that I do, 98% of the time. So if she says okay, then go with it. Write up her sales ticket, and then give her the product, and then we'll move to the next part. If she says no, if that's not in her budget, what you want to do is explain to her, okay, so the payment plan, the way this works is you can do your options in 1 payment, 2 payments, or 4 payments. It would be 1 payment today, or 2 payments, half now and half in 2 weeks, or 4 payments starting today, once a week for 4 weeks. And if she's okay with any of those, then go ahead and draw up her sales ticket. If they're still too high for her, what you want to do is you want to don't ever remove the skincare, is what I'm trying to get at. Tilt you down here. Ooh, now we're going to fall. What you want to do is not ever remove the skincare, okay? Where you want to start is this. Well, here, wrong side. If they've got all 3 of these starred, you want to take this off first and then add it up again. Now remember, if they do this, 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 and this one is half price. So don't forget to add that up like that. So remove this one first, and then if it's still too much, remove this one. And if it's still too much, remove this one. But you want to stick with their skincare sets and never take those off. And you want to tell them that. You want to tell them, let me get you back up here. You want to tell them, just so you know, I want you to go home with skincare today, and I will do pretty much anything it takes, to get that to happen, because I know that you're going to be a long-term satisfied customer if that happens. But if you just take home a mascara, you're not going to be my customer forever, and I want to take care of you forever. So make sure that you do that. You're going to negotiate with her back and forth until you figure out what's going to work for her payment-wise and price-wise and all of that. Once you get that done, once you've figured out what she's taken home with her, you've broken it down into payments, you've gotten her credit card information, or you've gotten checks, or you've gotten cash. Now, I will say this. I do not do payment plans on anything less than $200. And I do not take checks or cash for payment plans. I personally only take credit cards. That is a 100% up to you kind of thing. I have had much more luck with credit cards not getting declined than checks bouncing. I know directors who are the other way. They have more credit cards get declined than they have checks bounce. And so that's something that you have to decide what you want to do. And if you don't have ProPay set up yet, then you'll have to take checks, and that's totally okay. And they would just be post-dated. If you have questions about that, ask me. Okay, so once you've gotten her products sold for her, you want to share the opportunity, and you want to do this with everyone. Okay, so you're going to look at her questions that she answered, and you're going to look and see if she put C, B, or A. And here's what I want to say. If she's an A, sign her up right there on the spot. If you don't know how to do that, it's very simple. Go to Mary Kay in Touch, go to Business Tools. On close to the bottom, it says Online Agreements. Click Create New Agreement, and you can sign her up just like that. If you have questions about that during an appointment, just call me. If I'm available, I will answer, and we can get her in the system. If you don't have a computer with you, do it on your phone. And if you don't have access to that, try to get her information down right there in front of you. Because you don't want her to change her mind. It's not that she can't change her mind, but most people need to go with their gut, and they'll make a great decision. But if they think about it too long, they'll overanalyze. The information you'll need, just so you know, social security number, driver's license, mother's maiden name, husband's name, if they're married, and then her credit card info, and first, middle, and last name, date of birth, things like that. All the things that you did on your own. Application, or whatever you want to call it. Agreement is the word I'm looking for. So anyway, if you have an A, sign her up right there or call me and we'll get it done. If you have a B, someone who's interested in the opportunity, talk to her a little bit. She may just have one little simple question that she needs answered and she'll turn into an A. If she's got more than that and you have more people waiting, you don't want to talk to her forever. You want to keep your individual consultations to about 10 minutes. If not less than that. 5 minutes should be the max, unless you've got someone interested in the opportunity. Because you don't want the other people to have to wait for forever. So if she's got a lot of questions that need answered, or she just needs some more information and she doesn't really know what she wants to hear, set her up with a phone call to talk to me. You can pretty much always assume that I'm available after 8 p.m. Central Time on weeknights, and pretty much every weekday between 10 and 2. I can typically make it work. So don't ever hesitate to just set up a call. And then if I can't be on that call, I can have another director take my place, or we can reschedule it. You always want to schedule those calls on the conference line. That number is in your orientation packet. But you want to do that because you want to be on the call listening. Every person that comes in this company, I will do their first 3 or 4 shares for them. But then after a while, you'll want to start doing your own. You want to start building your own team. You can totally do it. So I'll just train you how to do that. So once you've got her set up for a marketing call, just confirm that date and time with her. By the way, it should be within 24 to 48 hours, no farther than 48 hours. You could also book her to come to your success meeting on top of scheduling a marketing call. And if they are a C, okay, so if they are, if they're saying they just want to be a customer, you have a couple of options here. You can just ignore it and tell them about the opportunity anyway, and that's especially for people who you're like, man, I really thought she would be a B. And people that would be good at this, people that were sparklers, but she put C. So you can choose to ignore that. And here's what I say to them. I know you put C on here, but I am going to ignore that for just a second. And I just want to say, have you ever thought about doing Mary Kay? Something like that. And just open up a conversation. And you're going to do the same thing with her that you did with the B's. You're going to set them up for a call. If there is someone who wrote down the letter C and you're like, that's fine, you don't necessarily want them on your team, you don't think that they would be good at it, something like that, that's okay if you choose not to share this with them. But here's what I want to say about that. Be careful. Be careful prejudging people and making assumptions, because if that person were to go to another Mary Kay party and that consultant did share the opportunity with her and she signed up with that consultant, you cannot be mad because that consultant signed up your customer, okay? Because you didn't do the job that you were brought into the company to do, which was to sell the product and share this opportunity. You did half of your job, but you chose not to share the opportunity, and that's okay. Sometimes it's not meant for everyone, and I don't share the opportunity with 100% of people. I share it with probably 90%, because there are 10% of people that I don't really necessarily want to work with, and that's the beauty of this business, that we get to choose who we work with and who we don't. But I also know that if another director in our area, or not in our area, recruits that person, I can't be mad about it because I chose not to work with them and somebody else chose to work with them. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Share with everyone unless you're just choosing not to. Set up every single person you're in contact with a phone call with me or with yourself once you're comfortable with it. That is the individual close. And that would be the conclusion of your class. And this says, congratulations, you did it. I hope these videos on how to do your classes have been helpful for you. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.